Hello and welcome everyone to the Live Limitless Summit, where we are focusing all about having conscious, abundant, and empowered relationship. So, to those of you who don't know me, I'm Neepam Jain, and I love facilitating and transforming people's limiting belief, pain, and trauma so that they can be the best version of themselves. So, today I have someone very special with us who advocates self love, and he is on the mission to help people find joy inside of themselves. He's a life mastery coach, creator of the self love revolution. He's someone who spent 20 years in the music and entertainment business, living the life of the dreams with amazing success on paper. But he still wasn't happy. He also found out he wasn't alone. So he went on a mission to find out why. Why what is the reason that he is not happy? And once he learned the secrets of true happiness and success, he had to share it with other entrepreneurs. This is the self love revolution. So, welcome, Jonathan Trion. So excited.
Thank you so much.
So excited to have you with us. We would really like to dive into your self discovery, I would say, the journey of your self discovery and what makes you so passionate about this self love revolution. And you're so passionate that you really wish to spread across. So over to you, Jonathan.
The journey is interesting. So when we're young, we have these dreams. And yes, they're influenced by outside forces, and this is kind of what you're supposed to do, and they're influenced by what comes from inside of us. And I made it happen. Maybe not exactly, in the order, but I spent 20 years in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, and I was interviewing the biggest stars in the world. I was living 3 blocks from the beach. You could see the sun set out my window, but I still had this voice in my head. I didn't really know I had a voice in my head then, because most of us are talking to ourselves without knowing it. Um, but for some reason, I still wasn't happy. So looking back, I can pinpoint it all. There was a voice in my head that continuously told me I was not good enough, because even though I had great success on paper and we got the 6 figures, the goal that everybody wants, and I could see the sunset out of my place. Well, I was on 3rd Street, and there's 2nd Street, and then there was Ocean, and it's like, I'll be happy when I get to Ocean. I don't want any streets between me. And it was just these weird stories that, and of course, before that, right? So I lived in the middle of LA, and I said, okay, when I get close to the beach, then I'll be happy. Well, then I was close to the beach, and it's like, well, when I get closer. And my happiness was always based on these outside circumstances. When this will happen, then I can be happy.
I think this is with most of the people, and they don't even realize that what exactly the happiness is, because it's always if you're talking with people, it's okay. I will be happy if this happens, or I'll be happy. I can enjoy with my family when this thing happens. So there's
Yes.
not many things which is going at the background.
So that's what it was just when this happens, it'll be happy. I'll be happy. And then I got it. And then I'm like, huh. I mean, I was happy for a moment, but then it went away. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess that means when this happens, I'll be happy. And then, so this is what we all do. And eventually I just had to say, I gave up. I can't do this anymore. I quit producing television shows. I didn't even know what I was going to do. And I just started studying the brain and other people and me. I started studying me. I started studying others. And I realized that all of us are our biggest bullies. We're the mean people, and maybe it does stem from what happened when we were younger, because it's true. I was bullied when I was, in grade school and all that kind of stuff. But then the reality was that I became my bully, and I had to come to terms with that and learn how to love those parts that I was beating up. There was like there were 2 me's, to be clear, a lot more, right? I talked about there are 13 saboteurs. There are the inner guides as well. The army that helps us. But at that point, there were 2 me's, and it's like, well, one was the bully and one was the victim. and I had to make sense of, okay, I need to bring in somebody else to tame the bully. Really, the bully just needed love too. Okay, we talk about, people fight their inner critics, their saboteurs. Just stop it. That's what they feed on. They actually just want love too. True of the real life bullies as well. People are bullies because they're feeling a lack inside and need to prove themselves. Um, so yeah, I had to bring in another part of me to be kind to the bully, to be kind to the victim, and then I could, then I, then I was just happy. It didn't matter. The outside circumstances at that point don't matter. And now here's like, this is just the bizarre part. And then the outside circumstances flow more easily. Like you don't fight and struggle to get all the things you want because you're
So,
being
what
kind to
exactly
yourself.
is this self love? Because when you normally talk with people and ask them, okay, do you love? So, they don't even know what exactly this love is. I mean, so could you just let us know what is it and how one can achieve it and how one know that, yeah, I love myself or this is what self love is?
So they're two very different questions. What is it and what do I need to do to achieve it? So in its simplest form, what is it? It's just being kind to yourself. It's being a friend to yourself. When we struggle, we go to others for support, and that's fine. And we need connection. Self love is not a story about not being in connection with others, it's a story about being in connection with others. But it's also a story about being in connection with yourself, the beautiful, the not beautiful, because we all got it. You're not the only one. I'm not the only one either. We all got it. We all have, that pain and trauma that you spoke about earlier. Might be different for different people and their circumstances, but I don't care how privileged you were born, you also have it. And of course, if you were born under difficult circumstances, obviously you have it.
Yes.
It's being a friend to yourself. It's being able to look yourself in the mirror and going, hey, Jonathan, I love you today. And I'll be clear, the first time I did this, I looked in the mirror, I heard about this thing, self-love, kind of weird to me. Okay, I'll try it. I looked in the mirror and I go, Jonathan, that is an exact quote because I could not look at myself in the eyes and I could not say those words. I did not know until that point. Like
True.
if you would have just asked me, well, of course I love myself. I'm
Yeah,
me. Why
that's the
wouldn't I?
natural answer of most of the people. Yeah, I mean, like, what's a big deal? What's a big deal in this self love?
We spend our lives and we program our lives to impress other people so that they love us. That's all we do all day long. The clothes we wear, right? You put on your clothes. I put okay. Well, I got this thing with knee palm today. What should I wear? I had
Exactly.
kind of a crappy T-shirt on before. I'm like, I probably shouldn't wear this. She doesn't know me that well, and I don't know her audience that well. So I put this on so that you would look at me and go, okay, he's a human being that I want to talk to. And my guess is you did the same thing. And we have a little background here. This is my home, but I didn't do it over there. The laundry basket is over there. I'm doing laundry today. I didn't set this up in front of the laundry basket. What's going to happen if you see that I have laundry that I'm in the middle of?
Yes.
So we build up that we just set ourselves up to be loved by other people. And when they love us, it does feel great. Right.
Correct.
So if you tell me, Jonathan, oh, so great to spend this time with you, I am going to feel good about it. But what happens when you don't? And what happens if we have a great connection, but then you disappear for whatever reason? So I'm having a great relationship with someone and then they're gone, they're out of my life. What happens to me then? So
Yes.
that's why we have to build up this essence from the inside so that whether you're here or not, I'm okay. Whatever you say, you can like me, you cannot like me. And I can still go about my business and I'm okay wearing whatever I'm wearing, laundry, wherever it happens to be.
Truly, that's so amazing. I mean, I can truly relate to what you're saying that having that love for ourselves. This is what exactly love is.
Yeah. And it does, you brought up trauma at the beginning, and it does deal with that. So you asked, how do we achieve it? So there are four main ingredients, which you ultimately have to have together. Although, let me say, you don't have to start, if you're just on day one of your journey, you don't have to start all of them at once. It can be overwhelming. You want to do this whole process with kindness to yourself, with compassion to yourself, with grace to yourself. The pillar one is acceptance, accepting what is, accepting you just the way you are. Are you sad right now? Accept you. Imagine your parent. Some of you probably are parents, and some of you aren't. But imagine your parent, or if you're not, just you see a young child, 3, 4, 5, and they're crying.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to them? Yell at them for crying,
No.
or are you going to pick them up and hold them and say, I am here for you. I got you. I got you. You're safe now. I have you. It's okay. This is what we need to be doing to ourselves. If we're sad, if we're angry, like we're always told, don't be sad, don't be angry, don't
Yeah.
carry resentment. Okay, you show me one person on the planet who hasn't been sad. One person who has never been angry.
True.
One person who doesn't have any resentment inside of them. I don't know, maybe the Dalai Lama. I've never met the person, so maybe. But I'm going to guess that somewhere deep down, even he at least had it.
He's had it.
Um,
Everybody, maybe we all have it at every moment, but how you deal with this the cases, right?
that's when we have to have compassion for the person inside of us that has resentment. Treat them like a friend. If your friends came to you and said, I'm pissed off at that person, we normally don't go, well, you're the dumb one.
Mm.
We just normally don't do that. There are some people that do. Don't make them your friends. But most people don't. Most people say, I'm your friend and I have your back. Can you say that to you? I am your friend. I accept you as you are. Resentment, sad, angry, joyful, happy, loving, poor, rich, whatever it is, I accept you. Because most of us try and create change from a place of non acceptance. I don't like what is now, so therefore I'm going to change it. And then they do change it and it feels great, but then they fall back to where they were. It's just this spiral because you haven't actually learned the lesson. You have to find acceptance first, learn the lesson. Then, when you create your change, when you enact your change, it will stick. You'll be out of the cycle. So that's the first. The second is you have to have a positive emotional mindset, and it's connected to acceptance, but it's a little deeper. When you create change from a negative emotional state, your change does not stay. Again, it will feel good, but you will fall back into that circle. You have to have a positive emotional state. And how do you get that? Gratitude. I know. Yeah, everyone says it. Gratitude. There we are again. Yeah. You cannot live a life of joy without gratitude. It's just impossible. It's just impossible. And that's why everyone says it. And that's why it's so cliche, because it's just true. You can't do it. You have to have gratitude in your life, and not just gratitude. So people think gratitude, well, when something amazing happens, then I can be thankful for it. No, because amazing things don't happen every day.
Yeah.
Little things happen every day. Can you be grateful that you got out of bed? Can you be grateful if you're lucky enough to have running water that you have running water? Can you be grateful? We're together online today. Our computers work, our
Yeah.
internet connections work, right? My friends in Northern California, there are fires there, so they just had all their power turned off because they were afraid of additional fires happening with the electric wires. So their power is shut off. They can't do this right now. But we just get pissed off when it doesn't work, right? The toilet doesn't work, we're pissed off. The internet doesn't work, we're pissed off. But how often do you have gratitude when you flush that toilet? Do you go, thank you, engineers, for creating this? Thank you, city. You complain about the city and the government, but thank you, city, for supplying running water to my home.
Yes.
So you have to have gratitude for the little things that you're If your hands work, that your hands work. If your eyes are working, are you seeing this? Say thank you, eyes. Are you hearing this? Say
Yes.
thank you, ears. And when you can have gratitude for the little things, your life changes. Every day can be joyful.
True. That is so true, is that actually. So you talk about three biggest things holding us back from the success. What are those three things?
Well, so I just want to finish the four pillars, and then I'm going to say the three things which you need these four pillars for. So the third thing is forgiveness,
Okay.
a whole practice around forgiveness. So I'm not going to go into details, but you have to have a forgiveness practice. And then it's just being kind to yourself. Hey, Jonathan, I love you. Hey, eyes, thank you. Hey, wrinkles, don't hide your wrinkles. Wrinkles, welcome to the family. It's just a bit of love for yourself. So those are the four pillars. Now, what's holding you back are habits, number one,
Okay.
our subconscious beliefs, number two, and our fear, number three. So, what are the habits? If you don't have habits, or don't think you have habits, you're wrong. You have habits. We all have habits.
Yeah.
Take a day and write down everything you do from when you wake up to when you go to sleep, and then do it the next day from when you wake up to when you go to sleep, and you will notice that you have some habits. One of my old habits was I would review the day at the end of the day. Go to the bathroom, I start brushing my teeth and all that. There's a mirror there. I start looking at the mirror and I go, well, you screwed that up, Jonathan. Well, you didn't do that. And you did that, but you didn't do it well. Even if there were great things that happened, right? I did some great things, but what did I focus on? I could have 20 amazing things that happen. Of course, to be clear, usually 20 amazing things don't happen every day, but I could have 20 amazing things that happen, and one or two things that weren't great. What do you focus on? Man, you messed that up, and we beat ourselves up. That's the bully.
Mm.
I have a totally new habit now. My habit now is I review the day and I go, Jonathan, great job today. Even though I know I screwed things up, but I also had some successes. So I just go, Jonathan, great. You did that really well. You did that really well. And okay, you didn't do that great, but you showed up. Good job for showing up. And you know what? I got your back. So I have a totally different evening routine now. Forgiveness is also part of my evening habit, my evening ritual, if you want to call it that. So if you have bad habits, you're going to have a difficult life. And we don't know, like, I didn't know that was a habit. If you would have asked me if I did that, I would have told you I didn't do that because I didn't know I was doing it. It was all unconscious. And that's where we get into the subconscious. Your subconscious beliefs are controlling your outcomes. See, we think our actions control our outcomes, and they don't.
Yes.
That look, we all know people that whatever they touch turns to gold. And we go, what? Why does everything they do work out? I work so hard. Why does it all work out? We also know the other people that, man, they work so hard and nothing works out for them. And they're such a good person at hard, kind, nothing works out. It's because the action didn't matter. The subconscious belief of I am good enough, I am deserving of success, people will still like me even after I do whatever I'm going to do, because we have stories, right? We feel bad if we don't have money,
Yes.
but we also, some of us, well, if I do if I get all this money that I want, what are people going to think of me, right? Do I not have credibility anymore because I'm away from my roots, or will people want to befriend me just because, oh, now I'm in this other place? Like, we have these weird stories.
Yes.
Um, we have to deal with those stories in our heads about our own self-worth. Now, to be clear, this is not a don't take action. You then must take action. You must, I'm going to say it again because everyone says it's not mindset, it's action. No, you must take action. But if your subconscious beliefs are in alignment, then your action brings you the results you want. And if your subconscious beliefs are out of alignment with the goals you want to achieve, then it doesn't matter what you do, it won't work. So you have to align your subconscious beliefs with the goals that you want to achieve. When that happens, the actions you take give you the results you want, and the results stay. And the
Amazing.
third thing is fear. Man, we walk around this world terrified. Will she like me? Are you gonna like me? Am I gonna be good enough on this interview today to make you like me, to invite me back to something else? Will the people watching like me? Look, the number one fear is public speaking.
Yes, truly.
The number two fear fascinated me when I found this out. Number two fear, saying hello to the person next to you, because we are terrified of being judged by another human being. And of course, then what happens is then our inner critic comes up and says, well, you're not good enough, so they're not going to like you. So don't show up in the first place. And we judge ourselves before we even have the opportunity to let others judge us. And of course, if we do go out there and we get and there's some negative judgment, like 100 people can say you did a great job, and I've done, I do retreats and I do these workshops, and I'll often have these feedback questionnaires at the end. What you like, what could be done better, and you know, like 98% of them are like raving this and that, and there's one that's like a 7 out of 10, which is still pretty good, right? But I'm like, man, well, what did I do wrong? What's this? Meanwhile, I'm ignoring all the 9 and 10s. I like, and so that's just, it's what we're programmed to do. We have to embrace it. We have to just go, no, I got your back. I've got your back. I'm not afraid. And I actually shouldn't say I'm not afraid. It's really our relationship with fear. Fear can either hold us back or fear can propel us.
Okay.
Fear used to hold me back. Saw fear, I'm not even going to show up. I'm not going to do this interview with you because I am afraid. I remember this. This is a true story. I don't know. This is maybe close, not quite 30 years ago. It was when I was just starting out in radio, and I wasn't on the air, but I was like producing other people's shows. And then I got the call to fill in for an overnight shift. And the first time I did it, it was okay. And the second time I did it, I remember this. And I said yes. And then I immediately went to the bathroom and puked. Really, threw up. And I thought I was sick. And then I called them back and go, I'm sick. I can't do this. Just threw up. Well, I didn't know. That was just my fear, like flowing through my body and ejecting stuff. And fear was holding me back. Well, now I know that fear is a guidepost for success. If you think about your life and the successes you've had, they have always come on the other side of something that was scary. I want to do something. It's scary. Okay, I'm going to practice courage. I'm going to do it anyway. And then you get to the other side and you go, well, that felt great. And you look back, hey, that wasn't actually that scary, was it?
Yeah.
So if you learn to reframe your relationship with fear, fear is now one of my best friends. I'm afraid every day. And I know if I'm not afraid, then I'm not doing anything worthwhile. Because if
Lovely.
I'm doing something
Love that.
worthwhile, I'll be afraid. And then I can practice courage, and then I can keep moving.
Yes, amazing. That was amazing, and I just love that. I am afraid every day, and I mean, how it's so rare that we accept that. Yeah, I am afraid, or I have this fear. Most of us don't even know about it.
Well, we've been taught, don't be afraid.
Yes,
It's just what we've been taught. Don't be afraid. And we've been taught that there are courageous people and people that are afraid. And it's not true. Courageous people don't lack fear. Courageous people are afraid. They just take action anyway.
yes,
Let me be clear. Courage is not lack of fear. Courage is being afraid and taking action anyway. And courage is a skill, and skills can be practiced.
yes,
So you can practice courage, and the more you practice, the better you get at it. So if you're not feeling courageous right now, just find one thing. I saw this on a bag, on a quote on a bag one day, and it said, "Do something scary every day." And I'm like, on the side of a bag, I'm just like, whoa, that's amazing. Do something scary every day. Every day is too much. Do it once a week, but start being afraid and taking action anyway. Because if you're always resisting fear, you will you're when you resist fear, you feed the fear, you get more afraid and you retreat more. It's this feedback loop of fear and pain avoidance. Do not avoid fear, do not avoid pain.
Yeah.
Run towards fear, run into pain. Practice courage. The more you practice, it's like, I don't know, if you're a musician, you have to practice piano. If you don't practice, unless you're a virtuoso, you're going to suck at it.
Yeah.
Are you in sports? You like basketball? If you don't practice, the best basketball players out there, they practice every day. You have to practice your free throws, practice your jump shots, practice your layups. You want courage? Practice every day.
True. How true is that? Okay, so what are these? I just heard you talking about self-sabotage. So, you just said that there are 13 kind of self-sabotage. So what is that?
Well, that's kind of what we were talking about with fear. So we're afraid. Our voice comes in, says, "You're going to fail. Don't try it anyway. What's the point of showing up? If you try it, you're going to feel the pain of fear.
Okay.
And even worse than that, someone might judge you. Oh, no, run. I'm going to run in the other direction."
Yes.
So we sabotage ourselves. So we don't even show up, or we kind of sort of show up, but don't give it our all because then we have an excuse. Or we use words like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" "Well, I'll try to do it." Well, try. You just set yourself up not to do it because you said try. Try is a word that sets ourselves up for failure. And
Yes.
it's okay that we fail because, well, I only said I would try to do it. I didn't commit to you. So that's that inner voice. That's the sabotager, the bully. Don't show up because fear
How
is
can we
painful
move
and
across
judgment is painful.
that voice in the head? What are the
Say that again.
tips what are the tips you can give it to our viewers that if they are having that kind of fear, that kind of self-sabotage, which is, I mean, I would call it inner critic, which is playing at the background. So what you would tell them ki they can practice it or they can just overcome that, but what tips?
Look, there are very deep ways to work with it. But I'll give you the simplest. This is the simplest, the easiest. You can do it today on your own. You just label it judge. Oh, there's the judge. And begin to notice how many times the judge talks to you during the day and how the judge is running your life. Now, here's the key. You cannot beat yourself up for having your inner judge because we all have it. And when you beat yourself up, you're just judging the fact that you're judging yourself. So you might find yourself in a loop. Oh, I'm judging myself. Oh, damn, you shouldn't. Oh, no, and I'm still judging myself. At any point, you can just stop, judge, and then move on to what you were doing. Oh, judge, move on. You'll notice when you begin noticing it, you'll begin to notice that it happens all the time. I notice my inner critic now way more than I did 10, 15 years ago. And it's not because the inner critic talks to me more now, it's because back then I was unconscious. Now I've brought consciousness to the inner critic, consciousness to the inner judge. So I can just go, judge, oh, that's interesting. Not good, not bad. Interesting. Curious. Move on. Boom. A minute later, 5 minutes later, or an hour later, oh, judge. And sometimes I go, oh, huh, judge has been talking for 10 minutes. Didn't even know. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that fun information just to have now, judge? So observing the judge without judgment, you do that, your life will transform.
Superb. I just love that tip of yours, It was amazing tip. So any last before we wind up is anything else you would like to share or which people can use it and transform their life just like the one you just gave it right now?
just be kind to yourself. Say one kind thing to yourself every day, whether it's something that you did, hey, good job. Whether, we all complain about the parts of our bodies we don't like. Well, I don't like this wrinkle, I don't like that, my knee hurts. Find, oh, sorry about that. Find, find one part of you that you're grateful for right now that you like, and say, thank you, knee. You climbed upstairs.
Wow.
Thank you, eyes, like we spoke about before. Pick one, just one thing. Say one kind thing to yourself every single day.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Jonathan, for being here and making us so much aware about how the different ways how we self-sabotage us and how we can overcome that. The tips of yours, I'm definitely going to use it. And I'm sure if it would transform our viewers also if they implement in their life. So thank you, viewers, for watching us, staying with us. See you on the other side.